I am Andy Kindler, and I'm here to say, what is that from? A Mexican?
From your...
Mexican, isn't that it? I'm Johnny Chupampa, I'm Tropi Chicana, and I'm...
Chiquita Banana.
I'm Chiquita Banana. Now that you reintroduce it, I realize I never loved it.
No. Get your potassium the delicious way. No, I don't know how they said.
I just opened up a can. Do you think you need to bury that?
I'm pretty sure everyone heard that, yeah. What is that? Ginger ale.
Tonight, I often try and sneak stuff.
It's spectacular ginger ale. Does that mean there's weed in it?
No, okay. No, thank God. But I did try and sneak and here's what I said. I snuck one of these things here. I said, you know what? Maybe if things are going great, I'll suck on that. I can't suck on that.
You can't suck on that.
No. Oh, you think I'm going to get 2 seconds in on this? With the red blood coming out of my mouth? Wait, what are you doing, Andy? No, I'm not doing that. Well, it seemed like we were involved. Someone, I think, tweeted to me that we were involved in that Kentucky Derby, it seemed like, somehow, with all the problems. Did you watch it?
I did watch it, yes.
Yeah, so it was some kind of a thing, right?
Although I actually tuned out before the controversy. I kind of went, oh, maximum security. Because I didn't care. You know, it's not like I called my bookie.
Look, I'll say this. I don't care that much. I mean, I do care, but I don't care. It was a tough call, but I'm not. I was sad because the one guy was. It's always sad when someone's celebrating first.
Yeah, it is absolutely.
And the other guy
also kind of great.
And I had a tip off because every year I miss one of the Triple Crowns or two of the.
Yeah.
No, I mean some years I've caught them all.
Did you beat yourself up over that?
Well, no, well sometimes I do because
Honey, I missed the Belmont.
I do because I say to people when I try to convince them to watch these sports, I go, all you have to do is invest 12 minutes a year in it.
Yeah.
For real. Whereas when you want college basketball, it's like 64, the Sweet 32, the amazing. Oh, I can't believe Villanova's in. Who cares about Villanova? I do if I went there. And I care about Magic Johnson, and he won when he was on, I think, Michigan State. He beat, Larry Bird. Right. I decided I could make money.
What year was that?
I think it was 1978 or 9.
9, I think, yeah.
And the reason why I know that is because I moved out to L.A. Magic was here. Not specifically for that reason.
Yeah.
But
I moved out right as Magic was retiring. That's our Magic's career is our.
And I
think the AIDS thing happened soon after I got here.
And I saw him at Hermosa Beach once with his girlfriend, Cookie. I think it's Cookie.
Yeah.
And he was very nice. It was like in the 80s. I said, I'm a Knicks fan. He goes, that's okay. But later on, I looked at myself and said, what? I'm a Knicks fan?
Why would you need to say that?
Why would I need to say anything to him? Just let him go to the fucking beach.
Right. That's what I did. I observed him when he was near me on Sunset Boulevard once, and
I think I was involved.
He was very generous to the people around him.
Yeah, I always loved Magic. Loved him.
I don't like him. I did not like him as president of the Lakers at all.
Well, you were a Celtics fan, or
no? I like Magic, but I did not like him as an executive.
Oh, as an executive? No. Well, I don't think so. That's not him.
No.
You know, it's like if you're the greatest, one of the greatest basketball players of all time, you can only hurt yourself in coaching or managing.
Right. Well, he did both. He coached for half a season.
And what was wrong with his? I mean, I know people didn't. I mean, was he too much like do it my way or the highway?
I think when you're that good, that there's a certain part of you that just can't understand why everyone isn't that good when you're coaching, especially.
Oh, I feel that way with comedy. People come to me and they call me the Slugger. Did you know that?
No.
Because I'm going to hit it out of the park.
I thought it's because people want to hit you.
That's not nice.
But it's not
I've
nice.
learned a new
It's not nice at all. I'm not advocating for those people.
Here's what my therapist said I should say to you. That's not nice.
Really? I don't think she said that.
That's not what happened at all.
If you want to make Josh turn off.
When I talk to my therapist about you, she's like, would you stop whining? He sounds like a God
It's
bless
an abusive relationship. Get out.
She says, God bless him for sticking up with it. She goes, boy, if I had a choice.
Right. She's like, I have to, but him.
But, for therapy purposes, I have made you look differently. You have more of a scowl.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be terrible? Not that bad. It's not
bad.
even bad.
It's private. I don't care that much.
It's private. It's not going to be private when I turn it into my hilarious one-man show.
I'm Fang, but only in therapy.
And the kids aren't going to get that.
No, they're not.
You know, you kids...
We don't have kids listening, really.
I wonder if Perush will hear the word Fang.
He'll look it up.
But he'll put it in a software thing, or he'll just say Fang?
Yeah.
By the way, I've been my whole life, another hyperbole, I miss having an actual encyclopedia as opposed to Wikipedia.
Yeah.
I don't enjoy Wikipedia.
Well?
You're supposed to. So I see the Britannica's online.
Yeah.
What do you think? Should I do it? Make the plunge?
If it makes you happier.
Well, it's a good. The Britannica, I remember, as a good. When I was a kid, we had the World Book, the cheapest, not the cheapest, but the crappiest tome, cohorts. Did you learn that word?
I used a lot of World Book as a kid.
No, but you use cohorts after your assignment?
No, I didn't.
I swear to God.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You tried to prank me. You tried to prank me with that goddamn Spartacus movie. I can't even believe it. It was 4 hours long.
I told you that going in.
Hey, I
told you that going in. I gave you an out.
You know, when you stop a movie 5 times because you don't understand that the overture is black. What am I?
Yeah, I did fast forward through the overture.
I thought my Amazon Prime was off. Anyway, we shouldn't get into this now because this is the big save.
We'll take 3 hours to talk about it later.
I know, as I stumble my way through it. But I did learn something.
Did you get all the way through?
Oh, yeah. This time I got... Yeah, God forbid I should watch The Brighter Side of Life, the best part of that movie. I had to stick through to the end of...
They were very similar.
Yeah, similar. It was very similar.
They both ended up with a bunch of people on crosses.
You know, my whole life I always said to myself, Josh... How come I never saw... did Kirk Douglas do any crucifixion vehicles? That's a crucifixion vehicle. Like what's his face? Mel Gibson did.
I won't let them crucify you, Spartacus.
Oh, Tony Curtis. I have a feeling...
Let's wait. Let's hold off.
Okay, you have it. Okay.
Yeah,
all right, so... oh, that felt good.
It's such a good way to end the first hour.
Tony Curtis. All I could think of was Gilbert.
Yeah, me too. A lot. So welcome to Thought Spiral. That was a nice cold open we just did.
Yeah, and the thing is, we pre-wrote it.
Right. And that was only our third take, so that was good.
Why do I think it's... I always feel like I'm always going to do the same jokes until I'm 90. If I'm doing comedy until I'm 95,
right,
after a panel...
I will undermine you.
Undermine you.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, but I mean...
If you're doing a panel...
If I'm doing a panel... Oh, on the panel. Kind of. Yes, I'll still do this joke after every free thing. I know it's free.
Yeah.
I go, where do I fill out the paperwork for the pay? I'm not saying it's a good joke. I just enjoy it.
It's passive aggressive, really.
Well, the other thing is when you do get paid to pretend, I can't believe they're paying me $40,000,
right,
$50,000.
Also passive aggressive in its way.
Isn't it?
Because it's showboating and highlighting how little it actually is.
Well, that's not, so it's blowhardy is what it is. It's not passive aggressive.
I don't know. I think it's both. Those Venn diagrams overlap sometimes.
Laurel and blowhardy.
It's blow Laurel and blow.
I know you say. I know. Look, that's the thing. You know, you're very. It's like your problem is
the symmetry of it.
Your problem is you won't let me take your ideas and turn them into bits for me.
Them.
Yeah. Look, you know what? You know what? It's almost time for.
What's that?
You write my speech for Montreal.
Wow, that's a horrible laugh for a guy who's.
It is because it was a
kind
cover.
Of doing a big ask, really.
That's right. It was
also
covering
passive
up.
Aggressive.
It was covering up. Well, first of all, people don't know.
You have to ask me this year, by the way.
What do you mean?
I mean, you have to ask. It's not just automatically that I do this work for you.
Oh, now you're bringing the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I'll talk to first of all, let me talk 4 sessions with my therapist about it.
Okay.
Would you like to do the speech? This is not the nice place to open. I should send you a bottle of wine, a hooker, dancing girls, and a flare that, and the guy goes, where's the M80s?
We can do it off mic, but.
One thing I'm going to write down is that Peter Ustinov was the Rickles of the movie.
Peter Ustinov was the
great.
best thing in the movie.
It was so
by
great.
a long shot.
Oh, he was so great.
Yeah.
All right. Don't do that.
Okay.
Don't do that. I'm just so proud that
It's a good teaser. We'll be talking Spartacus later in the hour, so stick around.
Hey, if you're listening now and you go, I don't even care about this, know that Spartacus is coming up.
We'll be right back after 3 jokes about Aerosmith.
Janie's got a gun. Okay, so now we're ready. Now we're here at the regular show.
Yeah,
right?
As opposed to the particular show?
No.
Back on mic.
Now, well, here's the thing. I wrote something down. Okay, I don't know. How about you start? Because I can't think of
I
what
don't know.
was
You've got a
gonna do.
big pad full of shit, though. Not shit. Gold is what I meant.
Well, I don't want to
Shinola.
Oh, okay. I didn't have it. See, I get so nervous. This is one of the problems with me and the podcast. Not with the podcast. Me with this podcast, which is the only thing I've ever done in my life like this.
Yeah.
So when I lose my place, I make it worse for everyone.
All right.
That's one
But
theory.
we're starting at a new place.
Well, right now I'm going to tell you about. I want to talk about how I talked about. I don't think you included it in the last week's podcast. Our little spat.
I don't think I did.
Okay, but I learned things about it, so I thought it doesn't matter that it wasn't included. I can tell you some good things. Now, believe me, if I was coming in here with a laundry list of how you screwed up,
Yeah.
I wouldn't come in here. It's all me.
No, okay.
Oh,
I'll have.
you'll have a rejoinder?
Because I listened to it, so I have a different perspective.
Well, you know what? Okay, so here's what I'll say. Let's say.
And I'm gonna.
Oh,
no, I'm
you
gonna
want to
tell-
go first? Or
I'm
me
just
go
going to tell
first?
you before you start. It was much more my issue than you.
See, I feel. First of all, I enjoy you saying that because in the adolescent, I'm still adding up whether I'm a good person or a bad person. A couple of points for me. I went the other way with it. I went with, I could see what was bothering you afterwards, and I'll tell you what was bothering you. To me, I'm saying, see, we talk about, like, somebody wrote a question. What did you think of...
I included some of that, but I got rid of the spat.
So I go, I'll tell you what, here's how my image of me saying it, my memory is, I'll tell you what show won't be good. Goddamn American Idol. Nobody will be watching that, discussing it. And then you responded, I knew something was wrong. And I realized later that what your ultimate point was made total sense to me. It's hard to talk about pop culture if I'm in the fuck you mode or this thing sucks mode.
It's not worth it to me.
It's not worth it.
Yes.
So I realized...
I don't want to fight through that to
Yes.
have a conversation about something I don't give a shit about.
So I realized that even when I'm not aware that I'm being annoying, I can still be annoying.
Right. But in your defense, or in to my detriment, I feel like I was also like extra impatient.
Well, that's the thing too. The only thing I was going to say was like, I wonder if in the moment you could have told me, or could you have told me immediately, or was it like you were still trying to figure out why it was so uncomfortable?
Yeah, it flared up quickly, and then I figured it went away quickly. So now I feel bad that I left it out of the show, but it was Andy and I we had an uncomfortable moment, and so I was. But I apologized after the show, and I said after we wrapped that.
Yeah, you told me that it was. You told me after what the reason was.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and that was totally cool.
Okay.
And I just feel like. Again, as a human growth hormone, no, that's not right, but human growth thing, I would say a few years ago, I wouldn't have even been able to figure out anything wrong about my approach because I would have been so defensive about it.
No, I totally appreciate that you put it through the Andytron 2000.
It is the truth. Yeah, it's exactly that because I was like, just because I don't feel weird doesn't mean that you can't feel weird. You know, it's like I assume that that you're only gonna feel weird during the podcast if I'm not doing well, and that's just another false belief.
Yeah.
You could be not feeling well because it's not easy to do. It's not. I wouldn't say it's easy to do a podcast. It's like
No, I could hear myself just sort of run out of steam last week.
Right,
so
right.
I feel like I was a little snippy and impatient in the second hour.
Excuse me. Well, I think we.
So I think we just we just rubbed up against each other wrong for a minute and we moved on.
But I did a little bit of this part of my personality that is very familiar with. Like, okay, we won't talk about it with that guy. That guy. Hey, no problem.
There was a run that I got irritated again at the end. Where I was like, okay, that's where I'm glad we didn't go on.
So what did that leave? Just So a lot of.
It was a 15-minute show last week.
Is that the show that comes out today?
Yeah.
All right. Good thing I don't see us stockpiling anything.
No, we're not really getting ahead. But who wants that?
Right.
They don't have that much of a shelf life.
Yeah, it's like people, you get a lot of letters. Why don't you guys change costumes maybe? Or,
right.
Or could you call him Josh for a week?
A lot of that.
But we've come to find out that, it's like, the more you talk about what you're doing, it just sounds like when musicians talk about how their songs with their children.
Yeah, and you didn't have anything to finish that sentence anyway. You totally had nothing there.
I have nothing.
We've come to find out the moral of this podcast is.
I just want to say one thing. If you ever want a nice ginger ale, you can't get better than this. It's really good.
It's very strange because maybe it's just you have small hands. Because I didn't realize it's one of those.
Oh, it's a tiny can.
Cans.
Oh no! This is a can. This is a can to fool yourself.
I thought I was just farther away.
No, because it's. Of course, it looks that small from where you are across the baseball diamond, but 60 calories. It's a little bit of a cheat, but it's not.
It ain't bad.
It ain't bad.
You can get away with that if that's your only cheat.
I'm finding tea that I like too.
Nice.
Teavana is very good. Is that Starbucks?
I think so.
Yeah.
You drink that at airports now. We talked about it last week.
Nobody can, but you can't get enough of my thing. But have you had any rooibos? It's like a green tea. Everyone's talking about it, and it's in everything.
Rooibos?
ROIBOS or OOS.
Rooibos makes the very best indeterminate thing.
No, what it is it's actually a. First of all, I haven't tried. I have 2 bags of turmeric tea at home. Turmeric. What's that? All of a sudden, people are. It's probably an anti-inflammatory. I think I heard someone say.
I've heard that.
Did I tell you that Prevagen has an ingredient that's found in jellyfish?
No, I hadn't heard that. I forgot. Because.
How did I take my Adderall before the show? I'll tell you.
Please do.
I would say about 7:30 I took one.
Okay.
And then I was very tired.
Okay.
So then right before I left, I took the second one.
All right. So
that might work.
We'll feel it. I think we'll feel it kicking.
I think energy is better than... I couldn't imagine doing the show without any energy. But
I'm drinking coffee as we speak. So.
Right, but I used to, before the Adderall days, I had no way... I had to self-medicate, so I used to drink like... I think I told you when ephedra was popular. Ephedrine. I thought it was like not as bad as caffeine or something. I would just like overload on it and drink pots of coffee.
Yeah.
But now I do it the professional way.
Now I join with Big Pharma hand in hand.
Well, you know what's amazing is what's happening with this. I watched a documentary about Humboldt. Actually, it was a 6-part thing about Humboldt. Do you know like 60% of the pot still comes from Humboldt?
No.
Yeah, like
60% of the nation's pot?
Yeah, U.S. pot. So I still had a thing that it was coming through Mexico. I guess sometimes it does. Why don't I get more information? I'll meet you back here.
I'm sure that there's a huge amount of illicit, like none of the stuff coming through the dispensaries I don't think is coming from Mexico.
Right. And
or at least the legit dispensaries.
And I just think it's like such a weird business right now to be involved in because you don't know what's going to happen. There's still gray areas, and like up in Humboldt, they're losing to do it the right way. You lose money, and it's like But the whole when they go back over the history of it, it's pretty exciting to hear the early days of when they turned that area. Because the thing about the area is that it's so big and huge that you can hide 20 plants. Like in a huge thing, and that 20 plants could, generate a lot of pot.
Right. That's what you got from 5 hours of documentary.
No. It was a cliffhanger. Okay, here's what I have to have in my programming. Someone has to be. I prefer true crime, but then I don't want it to be Ted Bundy's. They have one called Ted Bundy Unplugged. No, they don't really call it that.
You don't want the greatest hits of murder.
I don't like when they...
You don't want the murder deep cuts.
No, I don't. Literally, I don't. I don't like to say that they... I hadn't seen... I don't want to hear the cop go, this is the worst crime scene. I wanted it to be like, whoa, that murder doesn't look so bad. And it could be fun to figure out who the killer is. He might have a good personality.
It was death by vacuum sealing.
I watched it. Vacuum sealing was part of the Humboldt thing too. You don't think they vacuum seal?
I do think they.
Why would you argue? How would you argue otherwise? We're back though. This is it. A lot of people thought we were going to break up after last week's 2-second fight. Well, I left here last week though. I was a little bit down. Just as a person, but not from you.
Yeah.
I was tired. I've been tired. I'm still tired.
Well, you've just gotten back from that long festival of festivals.
Yes. And
or Festival Fest, as I called it in that week.
Yuck Fest, which we talked about that.
No, but you did a festival of festivals.
Yeah, I did 2 festivals. It was a veritable... I want to use smorgasbord more.
Really? That's not... As a Minnesotan, that hits home with me, baby.
Yeah, because I looked it up online, and it's like a thing that Swedish people do, maybe, or not.
Yeah.
And it's got like it starts with there's different things on it. Like
it's a buffet.
It's a veritable buffet.
It is, yes.
Yeah, but it's got cheese, right?
It's got a whole lot.
It's a smorgasbord.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's not everything else I said. A buffet. It's not a spread. It's a veritable smorgasbord.
Yes.
It's a smorgasbord.
There was a place near my house growing up called the Jolly Troll Smorgasbord.
Jolly Troll?
Yes.
Like the trolls that you pulled your hair out of? Or troll before it was a word that we used for...
No, like troll, like a troll doll troll.
Oh, yeah. Those were...
Not like fuck with Andy Kindler online troll.
Well, I don't know if I should tell you this, but my troll dolls used to put me down as a kid.
I've never heard of you, they'd say. Who are you?
Yeah, maybe I did have a problem when my troll dolls weren't happy with me.
Even my troll dolls go, who's Andy Kindler?
Once my troll doll said, Andy, I have to, but you? So what would he have to? He has to be a toy for a living? Right. What am I doing, playing with him? You know what? Some of this comedy is like you don't want to know.
Don't pull the threads all the way out like that.
So where were we? We were talking about...
I was talking about the Jolly Troll Smorgasbord.
Okay, yeah. And it was near you where? In Minnesota.
Yes.
Minnesota.
Yeah.
That's not the way to say it.
And they had like this, half the restaurant was like this sort of troll village that had been built.
The food was not the best here, right?
Not the best. No, not the best, but it was there for a long time.
Well, because it was themed.
Yeah.
And did you have Swiss Chalet?
No.
Are you looking to see if it's still open?
I know it's not open, but I bet there's a picture of it somewhere. But go ahead.
Did you ever hear... Did I cut your story off?
No.
I feel I did. Hey, really. Did you ever hear my fondant bit from the when the fondue was big?
I'm very fond of it.
I still think both of us, well, you more than me, we both could make a lovely dollar in pun or wordplay comedy.
Probably.
Look how well Mark Russell's doing.
That's the deficit rag.
And the Capitol Steps. I thought the Capitol Steps
was in, someone was talking about seeing Mark Russell not long ago, like he had come out of retirement.
Yeah.
And
not good.
No, they were like, it was a clinic. I'm like,
that's so funny. It was a clinic in someone who can do that kind of lowbrow comedy well.
Yes. Oh, check this out. These are the people behind the Jolly Troll.
Oh, are they the people who are they the founders?
This is the little troll village I was talking about.
Oh, okay, I see. Oh my God. Now that looks like a Christmas getup.
It is kind of a Christmas looking getup. Anyway,
I swear to God, I'm not going to go there, but I would be. But it's not there now.
No, it's gone. Weirdly enough, that same spot eventually became a place. I remember I actually had a birthday at the Jolly Troll, and then the Jolly Troll was demolished, and they built this big nightclub, and that was the same nightclub I threw the last birthday party for my mom at. Weirdly enough, when I brought the band into town and stuff.
Oh, I don't know this story.
You do.
Are you sure you told me the story that before your mom passed, you went and did a whole show for her?
Yeah. I don't know if I told you. Yes,
what did you charge her?
I charged her cost plus 10.
You're not going to lose money on it, right, buddy boy? Those strings cost money. And did you play for her where'd you play for her? At home?
No, we rented this nightclub called the Metropolitan, and about 100 of her friends, and
oh my God,
it was a good party.
How far after and how long? She's still feeling okay.
This was August, and she died in December. But she was like in a very weird sort of. That was like she was in her last sort of pretty energetic period. So it was perfect timing. It was a perfect night. It was really a perfect night.
And who put it together?
Me.
And did you stick it to your brother about that?
No, I mean, my brother and I co-sponsored it, but it was my deal.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Why do I think I've heard of that club, the Metropolitan? Maybe it's just one of those names.
Maybe.
That just sounds right.
It was Rupert's for many years before it became the Metropolitan.
Oh, you see my eyeballs go up like that?
Yeah, like a fake recognition thing. That's pretty good.
You know what? Here's the thing. I'm like, you know how Mueller, or when they don't like him, they call him Mueller. You know how Mueller and Comey, they memorialize their meetings. So somehow I was going to connect that to what I was doing.
Taking notes in some way?
Yeah, something like that. But here's the thing. When you have OCD like you don't have, but I have it.
Yeah.
Every day about 30 to 40 to 50 to 60 times, I say to myself, do I have early dementia?
Right.
Then I say, another voice says, why don't you cut back on the pot a little bit? And then I can't figure out where that voice is coming from.
It's me.
That's how I know. That's how I know it's probably the pot.
It's me.
It is me. Well, first of all, I can't test whether it is early dementia by smoking pot.
No, you can't.
If
you didn't have whatever you had, you remember me saying this to you many times over.
What did you say? You said try stopping it.
Yes.
I forgot.
Yes, I know.
Oh, I don't smoke that much pot, so that part is
you eat a lot instead.
No, I didn't today, thank God.
Oh, okay,
but I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go.
Lying.
No, because it fell out of my pocket. I walked around. By the way, you have a nice size house. Don't kid yourself.
Yeah.
There's a lot of parts of the house I have never seen.
Yeah.
It looks like there's like a Munsters thing going on up top. You have a gazebo, as the guy says in what is that movie? Dirty Dancing?
I don't know.
You know Dirty Dancing, that movie with the...
I know the movie, but
yeah.
I don't know the movie.
He says gazebo, but he keeps saying gazebo. Huh. Gazebo.
Wow.
Now, there's another house, and I'm not tipping at all, but there's a McMansion. That's just how much of a Mr. Magoo I am.
Yeah.
But there's a corner house not far from here that's huge.
All right. That white one?
With the trellis, or whatever that's called.
Yeah.
What happened? This is not too big for that area. Wouldn't you feel bad?
It's too big for the lot.
Yeah, wouldn't you feel weird if you had like a crazy house, a show-offy house on a lot in this area, in this horrible neighborhood where the homes are... Could you tell I was going there? At all?
No.
Why? Because it's not that great. But still, no. But those days are over. I think the McMansion days are over because that had to do with the flipping the houses.
Right.
And then you're just left with 14 bedrooms in the valley.
Right. And no yard.
That's right. I think people need... So that's what my big fear is this whole area is going up. Do you think it's going to all go up? High rise, like Mid-Wilshire.
No.
Okay. All I do is worry about, is someone going to buy the property adjoining my property? Because Susan says if they do, we're leaving. Like if we wake up one day and there's all of a sudden we have some Jews looking in, middle-aged Jews. Hey, how are you over there? She says we're leaving.
Okay. That's a good barometer.
But it's not, we don't move that fast. I don't know if you noticed this.
I haven't noticed that.
Anything else? Okay, so what did happen this week? Is there anything else? I had things to talk about. How about you?
Not a ton of things, but I went to Santa Barbara on Friday.
Your second Santa Barbara trip.
Yes.
And how was this one?
It was weirder, but it was fun because I went with Joel Madison and Mark Feit. So it was.
Did you do sketch stuff?
No.
But you have done This is the two-headed. Is this a two-headed dog lineup?
No.
That's Mark Fite and who else?
Jim Turner.
Oh, okay.
And Gruber.
So this is just something. This is something that is a one-off.
Yes.
And were young kids there, or they?
No, it was quite the opposite.
He was my wheelhouse.
It was literally the first time in years that I have been the youngest person in a show.
How could that even? Is it because of the booker?
Just because the booker, it's her show, and she's older, and she had like a couple of friends, and they did sets, and then Madison emceed, and then I air quote headlined. And I mean, it was like this wine bar in Santa Monica, and it was full of people, and it was fine, but it was
not Santa Barbara.
Santa Barbara.
Yeah. I got excited there.
Yeah,
that would have been closer.
That would have been a lot closer. But it was it was fine. I felt like I had chops to do a gig like that for the first time in many years.
I have done the weirdest gigs around. Los Angeles has a weird. All cities have weird gigs on the outside of them. But I had a gig like in the Murrieta Hot Springs once.
Yeah.
And Susan went with me, and there was, and you got a free dinner.
Yeah.
And they had this soup. It was like cream of fennel or something. It was a million like those seeds from the rye bread in a bowl of soup.
Caraway seeds.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be. I don't know. Somehow a million of them ended up there.
They got carawayed.
And I bombed. I bombed and a free meal. Free meals don't always necessarily mean. You probably never did William Randolph's Discovery Inn, a Bob Zaney gig.
I did not.
But you did some Bob Zaney gig at some point.
I feel like I did a Bob Zaney gig.
Harry Capehart? Did you do Hornblowers?
I did do a Harry Capehart gig, too. I think he had the red onion.
There's always been a weird gig over at Magic Mountain, too, at different points.
Yeah.
In general, I think
that's where I saw there was a gig sort of near Magic Mountain at this sort of like it was almost like a pie shop on one side.
I went, that's the one I'm talking about.
I went to see. I saw Elaine Boozler headline there with Emo Phillips. Emo called me up. Do you want to go see Elaine Boozler?
I didn't even know you hang out with him, Emo Phillips.
I don't that much. But once in a while, I'll get a call from him, and that was like. Man, if I would have gotten this call in 1986, I would have been the most excited boy in the world.
What did you think of Sandler hosting? Did you watch it?
I did.
I've watched every show this year.
I didn't watch it with a lot of attention, but I did watch it. I thought it was, okay.
I like that. I didn't love it, but I love that song. That Chris Farley is a tearjerker.
Yeah, I had seen it in his special.
And I saw it in special too, because that was one of our assignments, I think.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was the right place to do it. I think more than the special, it was the right place to do it.
I think it was funnier than the special. And the special, I think, here's my thing. It's like, okay, I had a problem with him, so I'll never be able to look at it objectively. But it seems like he's kind of saying, I'm back and I'm a normal person. Or am I, for example, why was he not on, do you know why he wasn't on Saturday Night Live for 24 years? I don't remember that. How could I was doing the state of the industry, but I didn't remember why he left.
Oh, he got fired. He did a whole thing. He did the opening thing.
Yeah, but I didn't. But I thought he was joking, though. Do you know why he got? Do you know anything about it just from knowing about it?
No, I think they just turned over the cast.
Oh, okay. But
they got rid of the comics.
Right. And I think maybe he was angry about it if he never came back. I just was amazed to hear that because I've hosted it 3 times.
I mean, I could see him going, I don't want to do that, too, for a long time.
Yeah,
it's a lot of work.
Well, I could see that, too.
I'm sure there was probably some grudge period, and there's probably some lazy period, and there's probably some, they didn't ask for a while.
Well, I was thinking back, because I still think back to all the tensions that I had with people who came up at the same time that I did, and what show are we talking about? Oh God! Oh, yeah. So I remember. I remember Sandler. I remember there was a turnover. I remember Janine was on the show. Janine Garofalo was on the show,
right?
And Janine Garofalo had been friends with Adam before. Like Adam, my experience with Adam was I loved his early stand up. I thought it was funny, like he was weird,
right.
And then I like the stuff. I liked the stuff he did in Saturday Night Live. I loved Opera Man. It just it hit me the right way.
Yeah, it was funny.
And then Janine was very friendly with him. But then I think they had a horrible. I'm not sure, but I think the you could just see that the misogyny on that show was overflowing. So I think there was always a thing where like Janine didn't get along with them, and so there was a lot of stuff during that reign of people who were like in charge.
Right. And Norm Macdonald was there, who's cantankerous at best.
Yeah, and Farley died.
Right. But Farley died after he left, I think.
Yeah. I don't remember.
Pretty sure.
Yeah. Well.
But, yeah, no, I thought it was okay. I didn't laugh a lot, but, you know.
Here's the thing. I think this year, the only things I like I like the Weekend Update, and I like the segments on the Weekend Update. Like Kate McKinnon was great as Warren.
Yeah.
But some of this, it's like there's no, whatever the show, the guy or the girl or the lady who puts it all together, there's some lack of cohesiveness. Because some of this things that get picked are so, I don't know, maybe it's just always the way it's going to be with that show.
It's always the way it's going to be. There's only going to be a few gems a week. And that's a good week. Right,
but I think it's noticeably worse now than it was in 2016 when the elections were happening and stuff like that.
Certainly. I mean, that's the meat and potatoes of that show for the last 15 years or 20 years.
Right.
I mean, that's when it's relevant in any way. But, it's like every week you have to come up with a load of shit, and now you're in, show 20 of 22.
Oh, I can't imagine.
You've already had your ideas for the year at this point, too,
I was not close, but I had a shot of being on that show. I mean, I submitted for it.
Being a writer?
A writer. So, I really wanted it. I think it would have been terrible.
That would not have gone well at all.
Well, the other thing is...
You would have been so angry.
Well, I don't want to be the Dennis Miller on a show. The other thing is, I don't look back and think of myself as being the man of more than one character.
You'd still be pitching me sketches they rejected.
That would be annoying, right? Yes. I'd be the first guy trying to dress him up from last week.
Yes. What was that thing? Just like, you downshifted. Speaking of SNL, I watched, because we talked about it last week, Stripes this week.
Oh, you watched all the way through?
Yeah, I watched the whole thing. And it probably went down like a half grade in my esteem from watching it again. But it's still I have a lot of affection for that movie still. But I did notice, like, it was before Bill Murray knew how to act at all still,
Right.
So there was a lot of fucking mugging between him and Ramis in that movie that I never really just...
I noticed that too, where they were looking at each other while other people were talking a lot.
Yeah.
I don't quite...
Yeah, it was a lot of mugging. And, not a lot of acting, especially Murray's part, because Ramis just sort of fits into every scene, but...
Yeah. But he was not doing a lot, like...
But Bill Murray was not playing well with others. And that's his character too. Someone who doesn't play well with others, but you could see how it's kind of almost like Ghostbusters is where he actually became a movie actor, kind of.
Right. I guess that movie is that movie pretty consistent, you think?
Ghostbusters?
Yeah.
Yeah, for what it is, I think.
But isn't there a chase at the end there too?
Well, there's a big ghost showdown, yeah. But you kind of need that.
I think that there are not. Well, they say that. But when it was coming up in Spartacus, I was looking forward to it. Yeah. No, don't do it. Don't do it. We want to see if I can squeeze out anything. Oh, I can't believe I wrote all these notes, and that's all I got. It seems longer than a week or something.
What, that's since we've seen each other?
Yeah, you didn't leave town, I didn't leave town?
I went to Santa Barbara.
You just said that before. Where was I?
I don't know. I never know. But we both watched Spartacus this week.
You think we should get? You think that we were burying the lead so long?
I think.
Well, you were hoping. We were all hoping. Everyone hopes.
You're wheel spinning. I don't want to watch it anymore.
Okay, I have one more aside. Do you want to see one more aside?
Sure.
Okay. I am. I find the commercials annoying at times. I do not understand why it matters that there are real Chevy owners in these commercials where they just look at a nice car.
Yeah.
Why am I gaining? The real Chevy owners, they're bad on camera.
Right.
Give me some good actors. Why am I supposed to go, these are actual Chevy owners? Write that bit for me and finish it off.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Do you think there's a bit there?
No.
I enjoy your deadpan snarky guy.
Do you?
Hey, don't
So here's the last topic.
Right.
That I forgot. That
I'm so happy.
Wow. Please stop that. Is Louis C.K. at Acme this week?
I can't believe that you brought this up because I was afraid to bring this up.
Really?
Yeah, because I thought I love Louis.
Yeah.
And just the ad seemed nothing to do with Louis. He's just promoting the show. But the ad that he put, the disclaimer he puts in there is odd, I think.
Well, he was forced to. I mean, that was by Louis C.K.'s.
Oh, no. I'm not talking about Louis Lee.
Okay.
I can't imagine Louis Lee.
Right.
All right. I've always wanted to put people's phones in a schmuckle. What is it called?
I don't know.
Yeah.
A zip bag thing.
So but it just reads so weird. I own all of this.
Right.
You can't.
Well, so people won't quote his jokes online, basically.
Yeah.
Won't report on his set.
When I was reading all those things, I was thinking, I wouldn't do this, but how would I sneak something in there to record them? Right. And they're not going to go into my pants, are they? Well, Louis might. Beep, beep, beep. Beep, beep, beep. Oink. So did you think it was weird? I mean, when it came to the whole thing was like, because he tried to keep it secret or something. Right?
No, I mean, people are just mad at Louis Lee because he booked Louis C.K. But
okay, yeah.
And then they're piling on by the fact that they had to email out this sort of
crazy
contract with the audience or whatever that basically says, you can't record this, recount it.
Well, it's such a weird thing because
I own all this material.
I love Louis, and I know that he has a very good relationship with Louis.
Right.
So I can only see it from that side in a way. Like I can't. It's hard for me to get upset that he's.
Yeah, I can't get upset because if you would have asked me at any point in the last 2 years, do you think Louis would book Louis C.K. if Louis C.K. asked him to? The answer would have been yes.
Yeah.
Like without hesitation.
Right.
And I don't think he's wrong either, honestly.
Right.
Just in the sense of, this is why you build relationships. I mean, even in Louis C.K.'s corner, it's like, this is a relationship that goes back 20 years or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's been ongoing and they've done beneficial things for each other throughout that time.
Right.
So that's why you build, part of why you build relationships is so you'll have friends when times are bad.
Yeah.
So, I don't want to see Louis C.K. working all that much, but it doesn't surprise me in the least. And the blowback from it doesn't bother Louis Lee in the least.
Oh, it doesn't?
No, of course not.
Oh, well, tell me about it. Have you talked to him, or you
no?
Just
I don't
think
need
so?
to. I just
because he thinks it's like just his name's out there, but he's not thinking about that even.
He doesn't give a shit. Yeah,
it's drawing attention to the show.
No, he doesn't even give a shit about that.
Right?
No, it's just like it's my club. I book who I want.
Right.
And that's the end of it for him. He's not online. He's not looking at Twitter. He's not.
Yes.
Segura wrote me yesterday, and he was like, "Yeah, Acme's trending because they booked Louis." And I was like, "Yeah, I saw some of that. It doesn't surprise me." And he goes, "Yeah, not me either." And I go, also knowing that Louis Lee does, it doesn't bother me that much because I know that Louis doesn't give a shit.
Well,
and Tom's like, at all.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the difficult. It's not even a difficulty, but the thing is, it's not like Louis C.K. is making money on the tragedy. I mean, that's not the angle of doing this show.
Right.
So I don't like when you boycott someone like I don't usually boycott, but I'm totally for anybody who boycotts Hannity. Like, I don't think a racist show should have to have sponsors. So I'm totally into that kind of a thing, like, as a statement, but I don't know whether I would even protest that a club is going to have somebody that I don't like. You know what I mean?
Well, the thing that seemed to start it yesterday was Nikki Glazer going, he wouldn't book me because he said I was too dirty. Now he has Louis C.K.
Oh, well.
And then apparently Louis Lee said to somebody who told Nikki Glazer, and she wrote it later, that he didn't say that she was too dirty. Her agent told her he said he was too dirty. He just said she's not my cup of tea.
Right. Okay. So
she kind of apologized for that, but that's not what lived on is.
It's one of these things where whatever happens. You know, I don't root for his career. I root for the people. It's not a matter of rooting. I don't particularly care whether he comes back or not, in a way.
No, I don't either.
Because I'm not invested, and also I'm not looking for him to become a winner. In other words, I'm not looking for him to be redeemed in this thing. I just don't care about it.
No, I don't care. He totally disappointed me to the point where I'm no longer rooting for him. But I also feel like, you know, he has a right to try to climb back to whatever position he can, you know.
It's a very strange situation.
And the way you do that is you trade on the friendships you've made over all those years, you know.
Yeah. Well, are you saying there's a lot like the seller won't book him now, or
no? The seller does book him and still will.
Yeah,
because he had that relationship over that many years, you know.
It's the weirdest thing in the world, because it's like when you think about his case, like you go, well, should he have gone to jail for it? No, he shouldn't have gone to jail for it, but it was still pretty creepy.
No, he did an incredibly gross thing.
Yeah,
more than once. That was an abuse of both decorum and power, and. You know, and I don't know how, you know, it affected the victims of it.
I do know some of the victims,
right?
And it's and
I mean, obviously, it bothered them deeply.
Like the woman in HBO and the thing, and I mean that affected their career too. And the Aspen Festival, I don't know them.
Yeah,
but that's a whole other thing about like, don't say anything. You know, what did Becky say? Anyway, the whole thing is that I'm booking him to play my apartment, a rent party. Is it all this week?
I think he's doing, I don't know what I think he's doing like 8 shows or something, like Tuesday through Friday or something.
The other thing about it is that he needs money, I think.
I don't know.
I do, I think. Yeah, how would I know? Because he's made intimations that he's lost it all. Who knows?
Well, he lost a bunch of money. That doesn't mean he needs it.
Like me. I do need it. See, I couldn't quit. Don't quit me. Don't quit me, Josh.
I won't cut off this deep mailbox money source that is this podcast.
Oh, I realize you have to pay somebody. Okay.
Yes, you do.
I know. Wait, did they speak to you already?
Oh, man, they won't stop calling.
Okay.
So Spartacus, we watched.
The movie we were assigned to watch was Spartacus. 1960.
Yeah.
First I told Susan it was 1980, so I was like an idiot.
Wow.
And then I realized...
Did she bought it?
No, neither of us bought it. And I was like, you're stupid.
Yeah.
And then we realized it was 1960.
Yeah.
And, man, that was a dreary movie, I have to say. That was my fear of big action movies.
Yeah.
Was that thing where you see all those people coming in a distance down a hill.
Right.
Depth of field. And I'm just like, whoa. Whoa. Look how big. Is there a movie that's...
It's a spectacle, my friend.
Yeah, but is it... So I was thinking, if I saw Cleopatra, would that be more remarkable, or Lawrence of Arabia?
Lawrence of Arabia is the only one of those movies of that era that I go, yeah, you should see that.
Right.
It's a great movie. And Peter O'Toole is fucking amazing in it.
So it's not like this movie we saw, right?
No, it's a much more complex.
It's good. A lot of people had this type of accent.
Well, yes, because it's Lawrence of Arabia. So.
No, I'm talking about in the movie, the Spartacus movie. A lot of weird...
Just the Romans have that accent.
Didn't you think the accents... Well, what was Tony Curtis's accent?
He wasn't a Roman, he was a slave. All the Romans had English accents and all the slaves
Oh, my
had
God, how do you
accents.
know these things?
Well, first of all...
Oh, you read about it, too.
Well, I noticed it, first of all. But the only weird thing was that Gene Simmons...
Not the Gene Simmons you would normally think about.
Well, it depends if you're
Not
a movie
from Kiss.
buff.
Yeah, well, her name... I did recognize her name, but it's... she was very pretty.
But she played the slave woman, but she still had a British accent, and she's the only one who broke that
rule,
casting rule, and it had an effect, I thought. But overall, it was, so it's Stanley Kubrick, not a movie that Stanley Kubrick claims, though.
I read that too in one of the articles.
Because he was hired at the last minute and didn't have final cut on it. And I think it was, it's not like it was a long ass arduous shoot.
It was, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a lot in common with Ten Commandments in that movie too.
Which I've only seen snippets of.
Yeah.
Like, is he referencing it, or?
No, but it's, that and Ben-Hur and, there was like this You know, it was the era of the 70 millimeter spectacle.
Is there a lot of torture in Ben-Hur?
I don't know Ben-Hur all that well. It's another one I've just seen in chunks.
I remember I saw one.
But this was Kirk Douglas' spite movie because he didn't get Ben-Hur and Heston did. So
this is unbelievable to me what these people do. Didn't you think he took a part that was like he threw all the acting in there?
Who,
at
Kirk
times?
Douglas?
Yeah. What are you doing there?
I thought it was like, I mean, he produced the movie.
Yeah, I saw executive producer there.
Yeah, and he really was the engine behind getting it made, and the one who fired the original director and hired Kubrick. But it was, I mean, for a central character like that, there was virtually no character.
Yeah,
like he doesn't.
He had nothing.
He honestly does not say much in the movie throughout.
And you don't know what. What all of a sudden? Why do you care about him all of a sudden? He's all of a sudden the. It's like, I can't. It's almost like for a 3 hour and 17-minute movie, it happened too quick. Like the
kind of. I mean, there. You know, usually when movies are padded out to be longer, they throw in really cheap shit to pad it out.
Yeah.
And this was like the weird reverse padding where it was like everything was slowed down so the grandeur could be played out, you know.
Right.
So and it was very, you know, it wasn't Kubrickian.
Yeah.
But it was beautifully shot.
It was beautifully shot.
And apparently Kubrick did much of the shooting. And
wow.
Despite the cinematographer got sick of Kubrick telling him how to do every shot. And so Kubrick mostly did it. And then the cinematographer got an Oscar. But
he certainly knew lighting.
But it didn't feel, you know, it didn't have
nothing.
It didn't feel like a Kubrick movie. It felt more like a David Lean movie.
Is he who directed?
He directed Lawrence of Arabia and Bridge Over the River Kwai.
Now, was Kirk up for that movie, 10 Commandments?
No, for Ben-Hur, he wanted to do.
Oh, he wanted to be Ben-Hur.
Yeah. So it felt like it could have been an hour shorter and told every single story.
Yeah.
Beat, you know.
It was several movies, too.
Everything was slow, and every scene was played slow, and you know, and milked.
Unless it was Peter Ustinov, who was just...
Peter Ustinov was great.
He came in and he was like Rickles, and he was like... Oh, my favorite line in the movie goes, he says to one of the slaves, the sun's over there. The sun's over there. You know, so he can move.
Right. He was holding a parasol or whatever for him.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the thing. It was like, there could have been so much going on there in the movie, and there didn't seem to be... I don't know. It didn't seem to be... I read about the couple of there were some scenes in there that implied like man-to-man love.
Well, there was the one scene that they restored to the movie.
That's the way he's in
with Tony Curtis and Laurence Olivier.
Yeah.
Do you like oysters or snails? Do you think it's immoral to like both oysters and snails? But what's weird about that scene is they put it in this restoration, and they didn't have the audio for it, so they had to get Tony Curtis at age 70-something to come in and read his line.
Are you kidding me? Wow.
And Olivier was dead, so they got Anthony Hopkins to come in and do his impression of Olivier and loop that scene.
Wow, that's hard to do.
So that entire scene is ADR from 70-some-year-old Tony Curtis and Anthony Hopkins doing his impression.
Oh, man. There were some weird scenes.
But you see, it's weird because, I mean, that's the scene. In that scene, that's when Tony Curtis's slave character escapes. And it's like, yeah, you know, it's like after he starts hitting on him, having this homosexual flirtation with him.
Right.
And then he turns around and Tony Curtis is skedaddled. So it's almost like this homophobic joke, you know. But I don't know what motivates Tony Curtis to escape, to leave in the movie when they cut that scene, when it first.
Oh, you know, the thing is, they don't have to put a good movie together when they have these kind of movies when it comes to me, because I can't follow much of what's going on. Just too many different...
I'm not going to let them crucify you, Spartacus.
I was also thinking during that intermission, right? So like, I guess people go out in the lobby and they get...
Yeah.
And I was imagining in 1960 people are going, how could white people be slaves? This movie's inaccurate. Right?
Really? You really think that?
I meant a joke, Josh. Is it that bad a joke? Am I not allowed to do jokes on the show?
I don't know. We'll wait until it comes up.
But people don't... I mean, there are people who don't think don't think the Jews are white online because they want to hate Jews,
right?
So they can't be white. And I only know this because they'll say you're not white, you're Jewish.
Right. No, we're not part of their. We're
not on their Christmas card list.
Yes.
But
well, it used to be Catholics weren't invited to their party either.
Oh yeah, is that Mel Gibson? Are these? Mel Gibson has a weird religion, right? Whereas
he's some sort of branch of Catholicism.
Yeah, and his father's not nice.
No.
Okay, the music. The music drove me crazy.
Music drove me crazy too. It was relentless.
I like classical music as much as the next person. Either have a classical music concert or make a movie. But it was like you couldn't help listening to all the different, movements in these symphonies.
Right.
Because I didn't hear a lot of strings. It seemed a lot of very brassy.
Well, he was trying to use all these different exotic instruments. Well, and it was variations on the theme, so you'd always have the refrain when it was Roman side versus slave side, and by changing instruments, they'd change. But it was overbearing and relentless throughout the movie.
And Dalton Trumbo, who I know is a great screenwriter, I don't know his work. That was not a good script. I don't even imagine that was his script by the time they shot it.
No, I think he was around for the shooting. For a lot of it.
Maybe it was Kirk Douglas couldn't deliver those. All the lines came like the love scenes to me seemed like a completely different movie.
They totally did. They felt like a 1930s movie.
Yeah,
almost. Yeah.
And the kid. And did it get you hot to see Kirk Douglas kiss the lady?
Not at all.
Well, I guess
no. He wasn't an appealing hero in the movie. He wasn't, and there wasn't a character arc. It's like the first thing you see him do is basically commit suicide by attacking a Roman officer.
Yeah.
So it's like right from the very get-go of the movie, this character is willing to die. So there's almost nowhere, which means he has nothing to lose, which means there's almost nowhere for him to go as a character,
Yeah. There's nowhere for him to go, and they build up so quick. In other words, like they build up so quickly a lot of stereotypical kind of characters, or maybe it was just it seemed like there were people in those crowd scenes where they would be walking by and they're trying to convey an emotion like we're glad Spartacus saved us,
right.
And they're walking by like the craziest look.
It's a lot like the Ten Commandments, though, during those Exodus scenes. Except Ten Commandments had this extra level of both sexiness, as I was talking about, and just campiness that Spartacus never got to.
Singing in the Rain.
The tone was all over the place in Spartacus.
Yeah,
and part of it was because of that choice to make the Romans speak, all British actors and the slaves all American actors.
So confusing.
So it just felt like there was a couple. That's part of what made it feel like there was two different movies going on. Is that the levels of performance were all different? And even Ustinov versus Olivier was a different tone. It's
Absolutely.
Like Ustinov was definitely doing a film performance, and Olivier still has this theatrical thing about him, especially when he's doing something that feels classical.
Yeah.
That's sort of an extra level of presentational,
How dare you? How dare you?
And all the films that Olivier directed of Shakespeare stuff was
like that.
Was very much a filmed play feel,
Yeah. Wow.
But it was a slog. That movie.
It was a slog because I watched it in 6 different.
It was interesting to see, and the same thing with those other spectaculars is just when you have literally 10,000 plus people in your movie. And
yeah.
It's not, when you see that CGI these days, you take it for granted.
Okay, so that's what I wanted to ask you. Yeah. It was all real, right?
It was all real.
Even those people on the far.
I think there was probably some plates used for some of those big shots.
Yeah.
To fill in, they filmed things as elements and used plates to composite them. But, like that, the big Roman army scene, that was Spanish army, doing those things. And as sort of monotonous as that battle scene was to set up.
It looked kind of cool with the rolling fire.
The rolling fire was cool, and it was interesting to see the way that the Legion sort of traveled and then got into battle formation.
Yeah.
It was kind of cool. And also, it was a good use of 70 millimeter,
Yeah, so back then the idea was that these movies they wanted to make them bigger screens and bigger experience in the movie theater.
And I think there was that with these spectaculars like this, is they want the audience to feel like, look at what we did for you.
Right.
Look at all the trouble we went through for you.
People got burnt out on it, basically, right? Or the Easy Rider period, and there was a whole shift.
Yeah. I mean, this feels like a studio movie.
Yeah.
There's nothing about it that, aside from the very sort of subtle allegory going on about naming names and the communist.
That's the other thing too, is I didn't think it was particularly coherent as a message. The message of it just seemed
they couldn't be overt about it, particularly since he had just hired Dalton Trumbo to write it. So
okay. Can you explain a little bit more about this? They're alluding to the blacklist.
Yes.
I didn't get that part.
Well, I think the biggest allusion is the I'm Spartacus scene. Where if you name names, you can all go free, and no one in the entire army is willing to name names. That's
so that had to be a direct.
I think that. That was the biggest.
I should read a book of history. But
that's the biggest.
Yeah. Which is actually
that's the most overt piece of correlation to HUAC.
And when he says HUAC, he's talking about the House Un-American Activities Committee. But you were good. Listen. Do you have to put me down at the end?
No, blow, Hardy.
He had a man bun at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
I could have done without this line. I'll take the big black one.
Yeah.
He was picking slaves.
Right, yeah. Although they were going for a racial message there.
I know they were, but it just seemed like I don't want to ever see white people delivering.
Shopping for black people is not good.
What was this one? Go for the slow kill, the cripple. I don't know.
That's where he was painting on him, I think.
Yes.
During gladiator training.
I write these things down. I go, but this is going to be so great when I bring this in there. Like real Chevy owners, I thought it was going to kill. You remember that?
I do.
Now, here's my second page of Spartacus.
Okay.
Okay, here's what I wrote down. Slower moving than Rachel Maddow. Because I didn't notice what I could do. Like during Rachel Maddow, I can clearly go to another room, get an item in the house,
right,
and bring it back, and I'm not going to miss anything.
No.
And that was on some of these long walks. I said, I'm going to get a sandwich with Rachel Maddow. Oh, then the other part of it was, I did have an urge to do a Mystery Science Theater thing during some of those
there's
scenes.
So much air in it. There's so much air. It's a perfect movie.
So that's what I'm kind of that's I guess what I'm noticing. I never realized that that's what's one of the features is that there's so much air around these horrible.
That's the problem with modern movies is they're
that slow moving,
so tight.
How about this one? What was Tony Curtis? He goes, I can juggle. I
can perform feats of magic. I'm a juggler. I'm a singer of songs.
I thought he was going to sing a song.
And then he did. Well, he was a Roman song.
They didn't sing because they didn't have rhythm?
That's what a Roman song was. It's more of a poem.
Is the glug spicy tonight? The Roman glug?
The glug is very spicy.
Well, okay, but will it hurt?
It's just like normal glug,
Have you seen how...
I can juggle. I perform feats of magic.
Feats of magic is great. He couldn't have been happy with that.
I'm not going to let them crucify you, Spartacus.
I'm not going to let them crucify you, Spartacus. And then he does a thing where Kirk Douglas does a very good, I've never had to do this, but he does an excellent version of, he thinks he's going to get killed.
Yeah.
So he kind of grits.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I would do. Oh, like you didn't kill me?
Right.
My bad. What was the slicing the melon on the pole? What is that supposed to mean?
That was training. That's supposed to be like human flesh when you're riding by on a horse.
This is what looked to me like
he writes down melon on a pole with nothing.
How this looked bad to me. He slices the arm off. It looked very like the Life of Brian.
Yeah.
Slices the arm off, and I'm supposed to believe that those two exact spurt. What is that? What is that? It has like a water pistol.
Right. That was a big thing. I mean, they had to cut a lot of the gore out of the movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And that one, I think, stayed in. There was an actual amputee that... But we're watching the restoration, so a lot of it was all put back in.
Back in there. Oh, thank God. When I was watching that, I was like, Oh, thank God I'm watching the whole thing. I couldn't imagine this being 1 second shorter.
Exactly.
And it did look like when Gene Simmons came on that it was I Dream of Jeannie or something. There was somewhere she had no. This is like women should have struck then or something.
It wasn't a good part.
No. She had literally
none of it was a good part. I mean, none of the slave parts were very good. Tony Curtis's part wasn't that good.
No.
You know?
Hey. I like when they first get...
His role is Antony Curtis. But, you know, the British actors were all happily scenery chewing away.
They loved it. They love it. They love it. They think those goddamn British think they can just get away with the accent.
Yeah.
How many of those... Now, here's what I would like to see. I'm not saying for next week, but I would like to see a movie like a really good... Has there been any good Shakespeare thing that was filmed? That everyone agrees... This is the greatest. Even I will enjoy Shakespeare.
Well, Kenneth Branagh's Shakespeare movies are pretty good, are pretty entertaining.
Have you seen them?
Yeah.
I don't know. We don't. Maybe we don't need to watch that.
No, I don't want to explain Shakespeare to you.
Do you want to watch a pot boiler? How about a pot boiler? Would that be good?
I'd like some pot stickers. Yeah, we'll have to try to figure out a movie during the break.
Oh, by the way.
So, unless you're a film history buff, I can't say dive into Spartacus because it's a great, great movie. If I'm recommending a movie of that era, 3 hours long, Lawrence Arabia all the way.
And if you're going to recommend a crucifix movie, Mel Gibson, I never saw that. Did you? You can't tell me you saw Passion of the Christ.
Oh, God.
There's no Jew who's going to see Passion of the Christ.
No, I was trying to think if there is an actual good Jesus movie aside. The other good crucifixion movie is Life of Brian. So.
It is not.
But you missed the crucifixion scene. He was like, "Oh, this story of the Messiah is over." Click before any crucifixion.
But you know what, though, this would be great. They need one good, like melodramatic Peyton Place kind of. I think Scorsese tried to make one of those, right?
He made The Last Temptation of Christ.
Now, what was that like?
That was okay. I saw it. I don't remember it much because I saw it in the theater when I was a teenager, but.
I mean, it's the story. I can't watch it enough of the crucifix. I don't want to see anything. I'm so sick of
it. It's the greatest goddamn story ever told. Wait, can you say it like that?
All I'm saying is I don't understand why we did this kind of stuff, and that I would have been the last. What would I have done? Kindler, you're getting crucified in 20 minutes. What would my prep be? Can I have a last meal? Can you give me a couple of minutes? Can I smoke a joint?
I think you would do shtick. Just because you're nervous.
You think so?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I'll tell you something I don't like. You know what I don't like about it? I don't like the idea of hanging.
I think I mean, I've seen your cycle. So it takes you a while to absorb the information. So that first 10 minutes wouldn't be good.
Do you think I would do this joke, though? The classic, Peter, I can see your house from here? It's not a bad joke.
No, I think you totally would. And they go, hack.
Oh, is that actually from Monty Python, that joke?
No.
Oh.
Peter. It predates, I think.
Peter. Okay, we're going to take a break. And the other thing I wanted to tell you, though, is that I can make another set if you want.
Is that what you want to do?
I don't want, do you have something else? How about music? Back to music?
Oh, man, I'm tempted to play something from that show I described earlier.
Which was
Mother's Day coming up.
Let's do that. What show?
That show at the nightclub.
With the old people.
My mom's last birthday.
Oh, I thought you meant the show you did in Santa Barbara.
No.
Oh, you kind of play some of that.
The question is, do I play a cover song?
I don't know.
Or I could play 7 Steps Down, which is...
Oh, you're afraid to do a cover song because somebody can't play it.
Yeah.
Well, you're saying it to me like you were pleading, like I'm going to sign off on it.
Yeah, sign off. Aren't you going to pay for this with me?
You know someone's going to sue us, right?
No one's going to sue us. We'll just get a cease and desist.
Is it Stairway to Heaven?
No. Well, I did a really good version, I think, of She's Got Away by Billy Joel for her.
I love that song.
And I did.
She's Got Away.
And I did the Loves Me Like a Rock.
And did your mom like to
And Hallelujah. We did that.
Leonard Skinner. It's so interesting. Did you know that he actually...
So I'm going to play this song. Well, in honor of my parents, this is a song I wrote in my parents' basement. I've played this before when I was cleaning out their house after they died. And this is a weird demo that I recorded all on an iPad on the plane home from that trip. And then did the vocal on a earbud microphone.
Beautiful.
It's called 7 Steps Down.
And we'll be right back after those. Back again with more of Thought Spiral. Thought Spiral is brought to you by cheese. Cut everything out. Just coming out completely. Bring my mic up at the end to say thank you.
7 steps down, though there's no one else around. It's the one place I can stand to be alone. 7 steps down, yeah, when I come to town. It's the only place I still feel at home. 7 steps down, when I think I'm gonna drown in the flood of memories swirling above. 7 steps down, carpeted in brown. It's an ugly color that I've come to love. Yeah, I'll be down there where nothing ever changed and not a thing's been rearranged since before everyone went away. Yeah, I'll be down there staring at the ceiling, trying to recapture a feeling that grows fainter with each passing day. 7 steps down, yeah, we're going underground, where you can't tell if it's night or day. 7 steps down, yeah, my heart begins to pound every time I try to go the other way. 7 steps down. Oh, oh, oh. Yeah, I'll be down there where nothing's ever changed and not a thing's been rearranged since before everyone went away. Yeah, I'll be down there staring at the ceiling, trying to conjure up a feeling that grows fainter with each passing day. 7 steps down, though there's no one else around. It's the one place I can stand to be alone. 7 steps down, yeah, we're going underground to the only place I still feel at home.
I love that.
Thank you.
This is the show for your mom?
That was iPad. The stuff I played for you before that was the show for my mom.
I was thinking about that being live or something. It was had the same kind of, had a very open feel.
That was all iPad instruments.
Oh my God. Yeah, I could tell. It's so weird the way my voice is. I just naturally thought it was part of this other thing.
Well, no, I had played you 2 tracks from that.
Well,
show.
that I did know.
And you can go hear those on SoundCloud / Elvis Weinstein.
Cool.
Those cover songs. There's Loves Me Like a Rock, there's Hallelujah, there's She's Got Away, all stuff that I sang for my mom that night.
Does your mom like the kind of music you like?
She loved the band that,
Yeah, oh, she
just
did.
because
Cool.
I had this band with my friends. She loved the whole idea of the whole thing. And, but, she liked Billy Joel a lot. But she also liked 50s stuff and from her teen years. And
don't sit under the apple tree with anybody else but me.
My parents knew that stuff, and I was talking about this with someone the other day about their record collection was like really stopped when we were born.
Oh, okay.
So it was very, frozen in amber, but there wasn't much stuff in there that crossed over. Their taste was all kind of, because my parents were born in like 41, 42, so they were like a little older than baby boomers. So like the rock and roll was like more like for freshmen ink spots.
Yeah. My parents like Glenn Miller and they were born 26 and 29.
So I think my parents both graduated in 59 from high school. So they were around for the birth of rock and roll, but it was, they weren't, they were a little old to be hippies. They were a little, they were the exact same age as the Beatles and Dylan,
That's right. 1940 was when Lennon was born.
Yeah.
I don't know why I keep going back to that tragic day.
But, so that was my sad song I wrote, my self-indulgent sad song I wrote when I was cleaning out their house.
I think it's so great. That's one of my favorite songs. I love it. I love it so much. And the thing I was going to say was that, was it stressful to put that show together?
Only a little bit. But it was like, everyone was into it. The biggest thing was getting the band ready and then, finding instruments in Minneapolis so we didn't have to fly with everything. And
oh, right.
So I borrowed a keyboard, I borrowed a bass, and even my friend Pink flew in and did sound. So it was like, these were all people who my mom had met and, loved
That's
all my
cool.
friends. She had come out here and seen our band play, like when Feig was playing with us and stuff.
Now, was your mom, you didn't know, was it one of those things like you didn't know how long it was going to be? Or you kind of, it went by what they said?
I didn't have a lot of doubt it was her last birthday that we'd see when we were doing that show.
I think that's kind of the hard thing about my mom now, because I feel the frustration that you can't be there in a way,
Yeah.
Like if I was living there, I mean, it's not like I think, oh, well, maybe I should stay on the East Coast.
Right.
It's not like that, but it's like...
No, there's guilt from being apart, even though it's not your fault,
And then it's very selfish. It's like, oh, look, she's feeling a little bit better now. Why can't we, give her a couple more years of just feeling? It's like everything you think is not necessarily going to happen. You just don't know.
You don't know what's going to happen. No.
But I hope she... Mom, if you're listening tonight, that would really be odd. It would show that you're... I just can't imagine her listening. She used to listen to all the things. Like she would listen to the State of the Industry. So I can't imagine her listening to one of our podcasts.
God, I hope not.
I did interview her.
Why are you laughing at my Parkinson's?
Mom, online, a lot of these people, they start talking about your Parkinson's. Nah, see? But I have her talking about Quakers. I interviewed her a few months ago.
Oh, did you?
And I'm going to put that out. And is it wrong I'm charging money for it?
That's going to come out before your album. I love how your autopilot just goes to...
When is yours almost done?
I don't know. I just got an email from the editor as we were sitting here, so I haven't looked at it because I don't want to get my head out of our game.
Would you say what we have here is a game?
It's a game. Man.
Oh, okay, baby.
Game of moans. Hello, Cracked Magazine.
Scenes we'd really like to see.
Should we go to some questions?
Well, when I'm looking at the time, I go, yeah, we made it. Baby.
Hell yeah, we should.
Hell yeah.
Or we'll never get out of here.
Not that I wouldn't stay here and bother you for several more hours and your family.
You would.
One time I said, can I sleep over with you guys in bed? All of a sudden I'm the bad guy. I'm the bad guy now.
Parush posted a clip of the prog rock Indian band he went to go see.
Did you hear it?
I retweeted that on our Twitter feed. Bandwagon Jerk says Josh's TJ Futbuckers line from last episode made me laugh uncontrollably. What's the crassest joke you don't want to laugh at but can't resist? Bonus point if you wrote it. Is there something dirty that you just give it up for? That you?
I think I'm trying to think. It's not. It would be more sexually dirty.
Yeah.
Than it would be a bathroom reference.
Sure.
Yeah.
Crass either way.
I can't think of one.
I'm having a hard time too. But I mean, I laugh at plenty of crass shit. I don't get offended generally, so. I'm going to laugh all the way to the point where I just think it's not funny, but I'm never going to go to offended.
I don't know. It's like it's bad that we ask for questions and then.
Bless you.
That hit me so hard. I think it's the measles. I had the measles since Friday, and I gotta tell you, I don't remember from being a kid, but now it's just like you get feverish.
You feel so alive. It's ironic.
Are you going to get another shot?
No, but I made Allison get one because she was in the. She was both in the bad zone, inoculation time zone wise, and her parents were highly neglectful. So I wanted to make sure.
Does she remember if she had the measles?
College, so,
Does she remember if she had them?
She didn't have them.
Oh, that's worse, right?
Well, if you've had them, you're immune, but.
Oh, she didn't get the vaccine, though.
I don't know that she got the vaccine.
That's the thing. That's the record. That's for the record.
She was born in England, and then they hauled her off to India right away. So.
Oh my! What a life!
I know, and then ending up with me. Come on.
Well, maybe they should have went the other way with it. You end up in India,
right? So I don't have a crassest joke I laugh at, but I do laugh at crass jokes.
Okay, well,
unabashedly.
I told one to my wife today.
Okay,
the other day.
Good.
The two, the Native Americans. So already it's bad. The Native Americans sitting around, and one of them goes, "Father, how do you name the children? Well, how do you name your children?"
Why do you ask? Two dogs fucking.
That's it.
All right.
But why do you ask?
I didn't want to listen to the whole thing.
I didn't want to tell it. But that's not a bad example, right?
No, that's pretty
Why
good.
do you ask two dogs fucking?
Yeah, but that's bush league grass, I think.
Oh, well, you want like a aristocrats type of.
Yeah, what's the crassest thing you don't want to laugh at but still do? Is what this question
Nothing.
was.
Everything I laugh at is eclectic and highbrow.
All right, fair enough. Perush is back to say
Perush.
Josh Weinstein killed it in the Popeye sketch. Oh, thank you very much. Cool. Andy Kindler's Popeye's kale material is funny. Work on it. I see a fully developed bit. Here come the dogs.
Here come the dogs. Here come the dogs.
And we'll be back after this outburst from my dog. And we're back. The dogs went outside to bark at the dogs.
That's my Popeye. You like it? Kale. I'm supposed to be working on my kale bit.
Yeah, sure.
By the way, I've seen that Toronto Dominion commercial 25 times. I can't. When are they going to take those off?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You know the guy with the beard and he's giving people financial advice?
Yeah.
And he's just never says anything funny?
Yeah, I do know that.
He goes, well, we want to build a home, and we also want to have 8 jobs, and we have 45 kids. Well, let's make a plan.
We can make a plan where you live like that for the rest of your life.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Right. Tweet Bahara says, let's clear up the breakfast taco confusion. Breakfast tacos are available anytime, day or night, and can be fantastic. Do a live spiral next year at Moon Tower, and the Spiral Breakfast Club will treat you guys to the best in town.
Wait a second now. Tweet Bahara is making it sound like I don't know. I've been to that rodeo.
I know, but you were talking about how they run out of breakfast tacos at 11 a.m.
Well, I guess you can get them like a taco deli or something. All right, this guy's. It's I never saw. I didn't realize Tweet was so get so emotional about it. Pretty cool.
Mark Thompson says, after the Fiddling Horse, what are the plans for Phase 2 of the Kindler Weinstein cinematic universe?
Oh, I mean, we have so many. Well, first of all, it's nice that people are approaching us.
We're working on a little project called Two Jews Looking for Work.
It's a documentary. Why don't we do a documentary about the making of our podcast?
Yes, let's. Wait, our podcast is the documentary about the making of our podcast.
That would be, I think, the most boring documentary we could make.
If this is paradise, I wish I had a lawnmower, says, if this is paradise, I wish I had a lawnmower, says, I'm in line at Pinocchio's in Burbank. What's your favorite Italian food?
Well, it's interesting that you say that because I used to go to Pinocchio's in Burbank.
Wow, see, it wasn't as interesting as you'd think.
It's not. Do you know that place?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I still love linguine with clams, like is one of my favorite go-to dishes. But I also love a nice bolognese.
A bolognese?
Shrimp parmesan at the restaurant that I grew up at, where I used to eat in Queens, is fantastic.
Shrimp parmesan? Was that like veal parmesan with shrimp kind of?
Yeah,
thing?
and so melted cheese on top. They also have that.
That's like the trafe bomb.
And then Dan Tana's has good food. I like Dan Tana's. Have you ever been there? You have.
Sure. But I tend to get a steak there.
And
the Dabney Coleman. I don't know. I like a lot of Parmesan. I like a lot of...
I like burrata.
I like a garlicky tomato sauce.
I don't. The garlic, keep the garlic away from me. It's just, I like it. It doesn't like me. This is the lowest moment of my culinary life.
And I like a good lasagna.
Me too. I make lasagna.
Do you?
It's it's not, but it's good.
All right. I think we covered that.
I like hamburger meat in my lasagna.
Do you?
Yeah.
I like a sausage.
That's where me and you and I trade places.
Derek Faraci says, dunking a toasted buttered bagel into a cup of coffee, yay or nay?
Nay for me, yay for my wife. My wife loves dunking of various things.
Really?
Interesting. Should the Newlywed Game ever come back?
Right.
Yeah.
In the butt, Bob?
Yeah, that kind of joke. Yeah, I don't like dunk. I do if that, but it's not my favorite thing.
I'm not a dunker, so I'm going to go nay, but I don't want to yuck your yum.
I swear to God, I could have vomited on that one line.
Terry Caulfield says, thoughts on Adam Sandler and SNL. We covered that.
We did cover that.
David Gogo, are you guys digging the Stanley Cup playoffs? I'm not at all, but I hear it's a good year. I hear it's a good playoff.
That's a terrible.
I am watching the NBA playoffs.
And what's the Golden State's up on the series, or are they even?
Say again.
Golden State lost tonight, but what are they even?
They're now even at 2 games apiece.
That's exciting, isn't it?
Yeah.
But why didn't you want Golden State to? Okay, who cares?
I like Golden State better than Houston. I tend to not go for Texas teams. First off,
Houston had Elijah Wan, right?
Yeah, I liked them
beat
then.
And they beat the Knicks.
Then.
I liked them then, but they beat the Knicks.
Yeah, I especially liked them then.
Oh, that hurt me. Yeah, the Spurs were boring.
I'm not a big Chris Paul fan.
Oh, you know what my father would say? He speaks highly of you.
Greg Kelly says, Andy briefly mentioned Mel Cooley last week. Care to spiral on the greatness of Mel and his place in the pantheon of sitcom supporting characters?
He's one of my favorite supporting characters on all sitcoms.
Richard Deacon, right?
He's up there with, I think maybe you can't get better than Jack Riley.
Are you going to stop belching? Do you want to take
I don't know what's going on. That's the worst moments of my life. I'm saying horrible things and I can't stop belching. What were we talking about?
Richard Deacon.
Yeah, he was very funny. I just loved him. He was very deadpan.
Yes. That was a tough straight man role to play because it was always...
He was always good.
He was always getting hammered on by everybody, so...
Yeah, because he was always being picked on by Alan Brady.
Right. And Maury Amsterdam. And he was also Lumpy Rutherford's father on Leave It to Beaver.
Ah, he's not alive, I don't think.
No, I don't think so.
I wish he was, though.
But he seems like he played a middle-aged man for a very long span. But Mel Cooley was a great character because that is a showbiz character, the person who shits down and kisses up, you know.
Right. Although eventually they did have him step up to the plate occasionally.
Occasionally they had to give him something.
Right.
Mad City Architect says, why doesn't Andy ever read the listener questions? Honestly, it's because I don't want to give Andy my computer.
I think it would be a terrible mistake, wouldn't it?
I don't know. But if you can read them off your phone, I'm good with it.
Right. But that would require an extra rehearsal.
I think that answers the question pretty strongly.
Does it bother you?
Not at all. Oh, it obviously bothers Mad City Architect.
I think that's
a little bit. Bothered a little bit.
Can you do De Niro?
I don't think I can.
A little bit.
I can do a little bit.
Hey, how much stevia do you want in your coffee? A little bit?
A little bit. I heard things. What things? What things? What things?
I got a week back. Get the week back.
Seth Dick III says, any summer vacation plans? Devil's Tower, perhaps? A month in Paris? A third thing?
I should get money for a third thing at this point.
We should get money for a lot of things, actually.
Really, anything. I don't ever plan to go during the summertime.
Yeah.
But I should take more vacations and I should have money. I was hoping this would be my salad days.
Yeah. I never know. Are salad days good?
Yeah, they're good.
Okay.
And I even looked it up and I don't know why.
Yeah.
We're eating salad.
Because there's always that question of like, if the salad days mean it's like at the beginning.
Well, if I can remember when I looked them up and why they were it was like your youth days or like youth or something.
Right.
I don't know.
When things were fresh.
Yeah, probably like that.
Crispy,
but it's a bad saying because nobody wants salad to be It's like your lobster
But
days.
I think of salads as starting out a meal. So
That's
it's like
true.
your early days is kind of what I always think of it as. But I think it does mean one thing.
Well, I think people should write in.
Yeah, please.
Don't forget to plug things.
I've driven by Devil's Tower a couple times.
What is Devil's Tower?
Devil's Tower is in Wyoming, and it's the place, it's the big tower where Close Encounters was based around the encounter.
It's kind of beautiful there?
It's kind of beautiful, but it's more of a drive-by than a destination.
Yeah. If you want a destination, you go to Bryce, you go to Zion, or you go into the Grand Canyon and go, wow, I can't believe it. It's so big up there, and now I'm down here. Have you gone to the canyon? I have not.
Have I been to Grand Canyon? Yes.
Oh, inside.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Who needs the aggravation?
But I know that like 4 people have died falling into the Grand Canyon in the last month.
Really?
Yeah. It's time to fill that thing in. It's a menace.
It's really not. Is it not set up right?
I guess not. I love that. And most of them were trying to get the perfect shot, you know. How much does that suck to die trying to get a photo that's available in the gift shop 20 feet away?
Is that the biggest canyon in the world? Probably, right?
I can't answer that.
Well, why do I ask it? Forget about you answering it. Why am I asking it?
It's a very big canyon.
I know. It's like huge.
Yeah.
That's a hole.
Huh. Mm-hmm. Stand By Your Man says, I was recently introduced to the cinematic universe of Billy Jack thanks to a conversation between Bobcat Goldthwait and Jeff Brian Davis on an old episode of Harmontown. Have either of you seen these? I'm hooked. I've seen the first Billy Jack
many times,
and I've seen the first Billy Jack more than once.
Yeah,
and I've seen the Return of Billy Jack or whatever
it. Looks terrible,
once.
right?
And I think there was a third as well.
Oh,
there was a third thing.
I was obsessed by the first movie because it was a sleeper hit, and I loved the karate in it. And I don't think I watch it now. It's got the committee in there.
Yeah.
WKXU, SKR. Remember that? What's that guy's name? From WXK.
WKRP?
Yeah, who's the guy?
Howard Hessman?
Yeah, I think he's in there too.
He was in the committee.
Oh, God.
And Hamilton Camp. And yeah.
Yeah, I could not. I have seen that movie probably 7 times.
Yeah.
Not going to happen again.
Seth Dick III says, the royal baby was born the day you record this. Can you think of a lullaby to sing what must be a precious child?
That's your department.
Go to sleep, little English baby. Go to sleep, because nothing will ever be wrong. Go to sleep, half American baby, because everything's gonna be fine for you. Nothing to worry about, half English baby. Nothing to worry about, little royal boy. Nothing to worry about, so go to sleep now, so your parents can do something fun.
I'm telling you, you really have a lot of bitterness towards that baby.
No, I'm in love with that baby.
I love the royal family. I'm not anti-royal family. To me, it's a little bit of zest, a little zits.
I think it's a bunch of bullshit, but it's fine.
I know, but there's got some, like, she's cute, her husband, the 2 cute wives now. You can watch them. I like it that it's pomp and circumstance and doesn't mean anything anymore, probably. Right? Although they own stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why I like it.
It's this very rich family.
It reminds me of Camelot, Camelot. You know, it gives a person pause.
I hate that thing.
Causing Camelot.
I hate it.
Do you hate me now because I was doing it?
No, I don't.
Good.
I mean, if you would have gone on, I would have started. Dan March says, if you could have gone on the road as an opener for any comedian or comic act at any point in their career, who would it be and why? Remember, you have to deal with their offstage personality as well, and it's a long tour.
Well, I always want to go on tour with Dylan, but is that a comedy?
It's a comedian we got to do.
I think I would have liked to go. It sounds like a stereotype of Lenny Bruce, maybe. I don't know.
Really?
W.C. Fields. I'd love to go on. Why are we asking these questions? I'm bad at this. Well, how about you? I'm bad at questions.
I would have liked to have spent more time with Bill Hicks. We had a good time working together.
His name came to me. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of someone who I would have liked to have watched a lot.
I wish I'd seen Letterman live. I wish I'd seen Kennison live.
Yeah.
I wish I was alive.
So I don't know. I don't know who,
Will Rogers?
I guess Richard Pryor probably would have been would have been different shows each time. I don't think I would have done very well. Does that count in the figuring? Let's see. Stephen Elton Yates says, okay, fellas, lightning round. Yes or no? Broccoli.
Yes.
Yes. Cauliflower.
No, yes and no. No.
Yes, if prepared well. Mint.
Come see, come saw.
I like mint-flavored things more than the actual mint leaf.
Okay, one yes.
Liver.
No.
Chopped?
Yes.
Lamb.
Yes.
Yes, indeed. Tongue.
No.
Not a vehement no, but I don't like it. It's a little too...
I've had
It's
it.
mealy to me. It's a little too grainy. Mealy.
It's the tongue of something.
There's also that, but that's just a muscle.
Oh, that makes you feel better.
Well, I mean,
What,
I don't feel worse
bicep?
about there was saliva on this. Isn't that any much different? There was blood all over this. So.
Well, my concerns are not rational.
Oh, my God. There was saliva and grass on this.
It was grass-fed.
And sweetmeats are the last one.
Boo. I don't really know what they are, but are they blood?
Let's just say intestinal meats. Your sweetbreads.
I don't want that. Or head cheese.
Yeah.
No.
I do sweetbreads if it's heavily prepared with lots of saucy things and something that doesn't make me think intestine while I'm eating it. But it's not my fave.
No,
I would say tongue's my least favorite on that list.
Absolutely.
You turn the mic off.
Idiot. Idiot. Tongue shouldn't even be available as a speaking device. That was not bad for someone who really has given up.
Chris Olson says, hey, gentlemen, just wondering who is going to analyze the qualitative differences of Andy's spiraling based on the type of drug and amount consumed before the show. I think this is Nobel Award-winning topic, Chris in Osaka.
The problem with it is that it's only going to be negative as I introduce. It's not going to be like, oh, he was less spaced out on indica. Well, probably.
No, I think if presented with certain shows, I could go, no, he was too stoned for that show.
Right.
No, that he shouldn't have taken that much Adderall just before the show.
Yes.
No,
The 2 Adderalls I took once.
Oh, that was the 80 milligrams of Prozac time.
Oh, that's right. Dude, that's a good cataloging.
So there are differences.
Is this the way when 80 milligrams? Can you do an impression of how I sound? I didn't sound different. It was more like I was just always upset or something.
You were always flustered. You were always constantly flustered.
Yeah.
And you were falling down and shit.
Although I'm not sure the Prozac did that. I think it was not sleeping for years.
I think the CPAP probably was the biggest helper in that one. Also, you should stop smoking weed all the time. Michelle Wisecarver says, since you love to cook, have you seen Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat on Netflix? I've seen a couple of them.
I was going to watch them. Are they good?
Yeah, if you're a foodie type.
Yeah, but is it like you're going to cook them afterwards? Is that what you took from it? Oh, boom, bang, bang.
No, I wasn't watching for recipes.
I don't like to watch for contests. It used to be when I was a kid, you'd watch a couple of people who you like the way they... Is that gone now? It's always got to be iron lung?
Well, no, this isn't a contest.
Now, this is how I feel like I was in that mode the other week when I was like, what is it? Well, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Kind of, but you didn't have the kind of certainty behind it that you did last week. Michelle Wisecarver continues, Samin Nosrat is so joyful in her cooking. She was talking about Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat. She and her friends are wonderful teachers. Also, thoughts on Louis C.K. evidently playing Acme soon. Did that. Love you guys. You make Mondays bearable.
Thank you, Michelle. And that is a good thing. Also, the song Monday, Monday, I like on Monday.
I can't trust that song.
Really? But how about every other day? Every other day? Every other day?
It's fine.
Fine, yeah.
Greg Wookie 1972 says, today is the anniversary of the birth of Frank Nelson. The yes guy. What's your all-time favorite one phrase makes a career guy? Frank Nelson is a pretty good one.
And there was a guy who went, do?
Yes.
Is that from the Lauren Hardy movies?
Yes. So I don't know. I mean,
Foster Brooks. Wouldn't it be Foster Brooks?
But he didn't have just one phrase.
Yeah, that's true. How could anybody with just one phrase?
Well, now, yes. May I help you?
How about Mr. Haney? Didn't he do like a
Mr. Haney?
Floyd the Barber?
Yes, that's a good answer. Yes, it is. Yeah. Enlightened Misanthrope says, Josh, how was being on Gilbert's podcast instead of being ignored by Doug? Also, Andy, what do you get out of the Twitter nonsense? I don't send in questions as regularly as I would like because Twitter isn't a big deal to me, but I wonder what it does for you. I'll answer mine, you answer yours.
Sure.
The Gilbert thing was very fun. It was much better than the Doug show, and because I was welcomed as opposed to iced.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it helps.
Yeah.
The icing, but Doug Benson, he ices in general.
Yeah.
And what would be my example?
Your question was, what do you get out of the Twitter thing?
Oh, I think we concluded this point that whenever I lose my temper, it's not good for me or anybody. It's just not good. So, is that what I think that's what they mean. What do you get out of but Twitter in general, I am getting more out of it recently.
Yeah.
As long as I can, regulate it, modulate it.
Right.
I don't know ultimately. Sometimes I'm disappointed by the fact that we can't.
Well, I get the same thing out of it I get by doing a joke for a crowd as I get, likes or laughs, And so.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's basically just, for me at least, it's like I'm not looking to fight with anybody, but I'm looking to write a joke, see if it gets a response.
I would say that the thing I've learned better over the time is like, if somebody bothers me on TV, I used to tweet about it all the time. Now I'm more likely to find somebody else saying something horrible
and
about
jump on board with them.
Yeah, because it's just, I like the way they can, like this guy Hugh Hewitt, all of a sudden, he's such an asshole.
Yeah, he's a huge asshole.
Yeah, so that started to feel bad when I would get angry and tweet at these people.
Yeah, it gives them oxygen.
Yeah.
They're human troll people, so. Tom the Tom says, how do you guys feel about foreign films, dubbed or subtitled? Definitely subtitled for me. Dubbing bothers me a lot.
Yeah, I don't think it's right.
Yeah.
And I wish I watched them more, but I haven't watched.
Well, Criterion Channel time.
Oh, that's right.
Speaking of which, what are we going to watch next week? Let's watch Mikey and Nikki, because someone, I can't remember who it was.
Is it a Criterion?
It's on Criterion.
Or I can get it.
It's probably available elsewhere.
Okay, it's called Mikey and Nikki?
Yeah.
Who is it?
It's Peter Falk and John Cassavetes, but it's an Elaine May movie.
Okay.
She directed it.
Absolutely. Who did?
Elaine May.
We're going to do it.
All right.
Isn't it good when we get things done? And it's usually during the podcast. I'm so glad you said that because I've always wanted to see more John Cassavetes movies.
Well, it's not his movie. He's just in it.
It's okay. He's also good when he's in Columbo.
Right. So that's what we're doing next week. We'll do Mikey and Nikki, and by next week I'll remember who. It's actually come up in a few conversations. It came up at dinner the other night too with my friend who said, "Yeah, you'll like some scenes in it a lot." But I've heard a lot of people talking it up recently for some reason.
Okay, yeah.
But there was one of our listeners who really pushed it hard when we started doing homework, so I'll look it up and we'll give him some credit.
Yeah. We'll give him some street cred. I always want to say that.
There you go.
By the way, I'm opening up a payday, Thought Spiral payday cashier check place for all
payday loans. Good. Bail bonds as well.
If it comes up.
Original Chicken Sandwich says, with all the test shows under your belt, what would show number 1 look like? Live bands, studio audience? I don't know. We're still testing out.
Oh, there's no way at this point. We're not ready to go online with the actual shows.
No, we're still waiting for the network to give us the go-ahead for real shows.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not giving it away for free. We're waiting for the network.
Kirk says, just one question. Is it spicy?
Excuse me, sir. These atomic hot sour balls, how spicy are they?
Well, they're just normal sour balls, sir.
That sounds like the popcorn peanuts of the Cracker Jack guy.
Okay.
I wish I could do impressions.
Hey,
Stop mocking me.
stop mocking me.
Chaotic Neutral says, it sounds like a lot of your audience is made up of current or former aspiring stand-ups. Just wanted to let you know that you've inspired a lot of people. They also hate Ricky Gervais.
That's what I like when hate can bring us together.
Absolutely. Eric says, most influential Lou in music history. Lou Gramm, Lou Reed, Lou Rawls, Lou Bega. I'll go Reed, Rawls, Graham, Bega.
I don't know who Lou Gramm is.
He's the lead singer of Foreigner.
I'll go with the other two Lou's you said and send me a bill.
Okay.
And Lou Grant.
Sure. Andy and Josh, 2019 is the 200th anniversary of the birth of Herman Melville. Have either of you read or attempted to read Moby Dick? What would Dennis Miller sound like as Captain Ahab?
Well, I haven't read it, but I bet you could still do after Captain Ahab.
Yeah, except the problem with Captain Ahab is that all he does is Moby Dick references. It's really it's like a fucking circular jerk.
Circular jerk. And well,
hey, quick. Why don't you snap and bring me some blubber snacks?
I think it's sad that I've never read Moby Dick.
I've tried to read it and gave up, but I listened to it on tape with Allison.
And that was good?
Over the course of many nights in bed. It's a tough read. It's a slog. And there's some great writing in it, but there's also whole chapters just on whaling. Just on the nuts and bolts of whaling. So I can't say I've given it a real... I've never studied it. My wife has, but I haven't.
I've read Dickens. Some of his was fantastic.
Yeah.
I love Dickens.
I went in with great expectations. But...
And what happened? Bump, 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 bump. Start spreading the segues. I hope we're wrapping up soon because you're frightening me.
Larry Harold says, listening to Gary Gulman talk about gaining confidence and performing in front of a crowd. How was that process for you? Was it rough? I'm still in that process.
We're still in it, yeah. I like what he's doing. He's giving good advice to people.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's good. I don't really... Building confidence is a weird way to say... Do you feel yourself on stage? Because it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to go, hello!
Yeah, I think it's about a sense of control over both the room and your instrument, so to speak. Like this gig the other night, I felt like as confident as I was ever going to be in that. I was watching this room all night, going, I think I can go take control of this room. And I did.
How is Joel?
Joel was good.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. He was emceeing, so there was dicking around. Dana Schwartz says...
Oh, did Mark fight through the character?
Yeah.
It was funny, right?
Yes. Dana Schwartz says, I pretty much don't know what's going on anymore.
That's true. Dana, I think that's the first step to being even more confused.
And finally tonight, Yoshi Yamamoto.
Yoshi Yamamoto.
That was dissonant. Yoshi Yamamoto says, Josh, were you always really into films, or did you gain interest as your career went along? I was never like a student of films growing up. I watched, anything that would come through the TV, I watched, and as I got cable at about probably age 10, so I, started watching more movies then. For me, it's really like cable was good because you could watch the same movie over and over again. Yeah. And I'm the kind of person who I can't absorb a movie on a really full critical level watching it once.
Yeah.
I can't, when we do homework, because I'm watching it with that extra level of attention so I can talk about it.
I couldn't have watched Spartacus twice.
Right. I couldn't have either. Mm-hmm. So, as I've started to make movies, it's become an even bigger analysis process for me. So, I'm definitely more into it since making them, but I'm still not what you would call a serious student of film.
Me neither.
And,
but I like them. But you see, I fell in love with TV too, so.
Me too. I'm in love with kind of every mode of storytelling, which is why I've jumped around to so many things in my life. But there are times where I feel dilettantish, and sometimes I'm proud of that. Sometimes I'm not.
Yeah. I prefer to say you're eclectic. I don't even know what dilettante means. What does it mean?
Dilettante is someone who dabbles.
Oh, okay. I'm glad I asked.
Without serious.
That's kind of what I thought maybe it was. It's not like a debutante.
It's not, no. But it might be equally annoying to some.
Well, we did it, Josh.
We did. We made our little thing. We made our skit.
I'm in Calgary at the end of the month, but I forget the dates.
Okay. Hey, Calgary.
Yeah.
Stampede on into Andy Kindler show at the end of the month.
Please go to the various places like Zazzle.
Go to Zazzle. Go to iTunes and rate us and review us.
Yeah.
And go to SoundCloud / J. Elvis Weinstein if you want to hear some cover songs. And come back next week and hear more of this hilarious nonsense we call Thought Spiral.
Sometimes I can't get through it because I'm cracking up so much.
I'll just be laughing all week. Huh? Oh.